I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. Several senior Islamic Jihad terrorists were killed in an Israel Air Force airstrike. As you may have seen on IBA News, the IAF struck a media building in Gaza Monday afternoon, Israel time. The IDF spokesman has since announced that 4 Islamic Jihad terrorists were killed in that strike, among them Baha Abu el-Atta, a senior member of the military council and a Gaza brigade commander who was involved in firing rockets into southern Israel. Teisha Abu al-Atta, a senior Islamic Jihad member in charge of operations. Khalil Bahatini, who was involved in the Islamic Jihad's long-range rockets. And Ramez Hareb, a senior commander in charge of propaganda. Meanwhile, rockets continue to rain down on southern Israel from Gaza. Over 100 rockets were fired at Israel Monday, causing damage. Most recently, a rocket hit the roof of a school in Ashkelon, damaging it. The school was empty at the time of the attack. There were also light injuries reported across southern Israel Monday. Magen David Adom said that it treated a total of 16 people as a result of the rockets, 9 of them suffering from shock and anxiety. The weekend was also one of intense rocket fire, with 120 rockets launched into Israel on Sunday alone, causing injury to dozens, several serious. Since the IDF launched Operation Pillar of Defense 6 days ago, over 1,000 rockets were fired at Israel, with nearly a third intercepted by the Iron Dome. Here in the United States, Israel has received support across the board from the White House, Congress, and the American people. President Obama on Sunday expressed his support for Israel in comments he made during a press conference while he is in Thailand.
There's no country on earth that would tolerate missiles raining down on its citizens from outside its borders. So we are fully supportive of Israel's right to defend itself from missiles landing on people's homes and workplaces and potentially killing civilians. And we will continue to support Israel's right to defend itself.
The president further said that the U.S. is working with all the parties in the region to end the missiles being fired without further escalation of violence in the region. Reuters, in fact, reported Monday afternoon that Obama spoke to Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi on the phone and stressed the need for an end to Hamas rocket attacks on Israel, discussing ways to de-escalate cross-border fighting in Gaza, a White House statement said. During the call and in a separate one to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Obama voiced regret over the loss of Israeli and Palestinian lives and agreed to stay in close touch with both leaders. Congress has shown its bipartisan support of Israel, with both houses unanimously passing resolutions backing Israel's, quote, inherent right to act in self-defense. The Senate resolution proposed by Senators Kirsten Gillibrand and Mark Kirk passed on Thursday, and the House bill spearheaded by Republican Ileana Ross-Lehtinen of Florida and Democrat Howard Berman of California passed on Friday. Both resolutions expressed unwavering commitment to Israel's security and its right to self-defense to protect its citizens against acts of terrorism. And a CNN poll released on Monday shows that 57% of Americans believe that Israel is justified in taking military action against Hamas in Gaza. The poll was conducted by ORC International from November the 16th to the 18th, with 1,023 adult Americans questioned by telephone. Turkey strongly condemned Israel's actions in Gaza, with Turkish Prime Minister Tayyip Erdogan calling Israel a, quote, terrorist state on Monday. Erdogan made the comments during a conference of the Eurasian Islamic Council in Istanbul. Turkey's Foreign Minister Ahmet Davutoglu is set to travel to Gaza on Tuesday with a group of foreign ministers from the Arab League. And the European Union on Monday called for a, quote, urgent de-escalation of the current conflict between Israel and Hamas. While the EU said it supported Israel defending its citizens, it called on both parties to, quote, act proportionately to ensure the protection of civilians at all times. The EU also expressed support for efforts made by Egypt, the United Nations, and other parties to mediate for a ceasefire as soon as possible. Meanwhile, United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is set to be arriving in Israel in the coming days to meet with Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu. Ban will also meet with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas in the West Bank. He'll meet with both leaders in order to help broker a ceasefire agreement. An unconfirmed report from the Al Arabiya network said that a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas could go into effect within 24 hours. Again, that report has not been confirmed. And finally, today, a delegation of lay and professional leaders from the Jewish Federations of North America arrived in Israel Sunday night for a 2-day emergency solidarity mission. The mission, led by JFNA Board of Trustees Chair Michael Siegel, represents federations from across the country and is traveling to areas heavily affected by the rocket fire from Gaza, including Ashkelon, Ashdod, Sderot, and Beersheba, to show support and also to take a first-hand look at the needs on the ground. The mission follows the JFNA setting up the Israel Terror Relief Fund, to which they will commit up to $5 million. Jewish federations are working in close coordination with the Union for Reform Judaism and the United Synagogue of Conservative Judaism, among others in the Jewish community, uniting to come together to stand on Israel's side. And that's Shalom TV's News Update. I'm Teisha Bader.